Hi, I'm Connie Zach, co-owner of Sunlighten, and I am joined today with America's healthy heart doctor, Dr. Joel Kahn, expert cardiologist.
Well, thanks a lot, Connie, and it's so great to share some thoughts on sauna therapy with my Mindshare family. I've been attending Mindshare since the time we had about 150 people in the room, and it's remarkable what JJ and team have grown this into. Congrats to everybody for joining in. But, I just want to emphasize, I'm sure you'll ask me some questions, but sauna therapy, the science, sauna therapy, the potential benefits, it's a great addition to whatever type of practice you have.
Great perspective, Dr. Kahn. Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. I am super excited to talk to you today, but I will say I'm super sad not to be there in person. JJ and the Mindshare team are amazing, and they always put on such a wonderful, educational, inspirational event. We get a lot of questions about infrared technology, and we want to make sure that we address these questions and help you feel more knowledgeable about infrared in general. So if you are considering buying an infrared sauna for your business or your home, or you already have one, we hope you find this really helpful. Make sure and stay to the end because we will have a special surprise at the very end for only Mindshare customers. Let's get started. So let's talk about the safety of infrared. Some people say that it is harmful. What is the skinny on all of that? Infrared is very, very safe and very natural and is actually needed for every living object. Infrared is a spectrum of light that comes from the sun, and it's in a wide spectrum that does not have the ultraviolet or gamma or x-rays, some of the other parts of light spectrum that can be harmful. It's completely natural and healing. The one thing that people don't understand, and there's a lot of questions about, and hopefully we get to all of that today, is that infrared light is broken down in 3 different areas, and each area has specific properties, specific values to the body in different ways. Can be really complicated, which is why a lot of time we get a lot of questions and there's a lot of confusion. So I'm going to do my best to clear up that confusion for you today. So there's near, mid, and far. And think of it like far is the farthest spectrum from the sun, so it's the coolest part of the spectrum. Mid is a little bit closer, so it's hotter. Near is the closest, and it's extremely hot. In fact, it's so hot that in order to receive the true benefits of near infrared, you have to convert the heat into light and to have light emitting diodes to receive the wavelength into the body.
Connie, that's a great point. And I'll just share my experience in an integrative cardiology practice. One of the trends that I've adopted full force for a few years is light therapy for my heart patients. And I hear such good feedback. And some of the people may not know, but the near infrared wavelength that you're going to receive by sitting in a sunlight and sauna, in addition to all the benefits that we may talk about in any question you want to ask me, it can penetrate deep enough into our cells and into our mitochondria that it actually has a specific receptor in the oxygen transport pathway. It's called cytochrome C oxidase. It displaces, of all things, nitric oxide. There's nitric oxide very often trapped on the electron transport chain. You get the nitric oxide unhinged by near-infrared light. It goes into the circulation and benefits the circulation. And then maybe a little bit of why blood pressure may drop with sunlight and infrared sauna. And in addition, you're more efficient in making ATP because the pathway has been unlocked. So I have found, and the literature, the science supports cardiovascular benefits to the therapy. And maybe we'll talk about that, but sunlight and therapy for cardiovascular disease. Now, as just getting back, everybody will find some use in their integrative and functional medicine practice. And it's always nice to have just one more income flow.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kahn. So the next question that we get a lot is about skin. And how does infrared affect the skin? And maybe it's bad for certain skin conditions. So let's talk about that. So there are certain skin conditions that are affected by heat in general, which is I would call like traditional heat, like hot air, which we'll get into in a little bit. Those types of conditions, you definitely should stay away from hot air if you are affected. How it helps with the skin is by penetrating the body and increasing your core temperature and allowing your body to sweat deeply, you purge bad stuff that's trapped in your body. And so you're detoxifying, and as a result, your skin has this beautiful, youthful glow. So we say here at Sunlighten, purify the body and the skin will follow. So it's really great for skin conditions through detoxification. Then near infrared specifically is amazing. And then there's been lots and lots of studies on near infrared and the different parts of the near infrared spectrum and how it specifically helps with the skin. People are very confused about the connection between EMF and infrared saunas. So at Sunlighten, we sent our heaters to Vitatech, which is a company that specializes in electromagnetic field and radiation. And we showed 0.06, virtually non-existent. Just for perspective, they consider safe anything that is under 10. What's interesting is products we use every day, like laptops, vacuum cleaners, and blow dryers, range anywhere from 20 to in the multiple thousands of milligauss. And Sunlighten's saunas are still measuring at 0.06. Very safe levels. Another question that we get a lot is, do you have to be close to the heaters to get the benefits that we have on our website? And that is true if you are using a traditional sauna or you're around like a traditional type of heater, what I call like a space heater, that if you're right in front of it, that's where you need to be to receive that heat. Sunlighten's infrared technology works different. And our wavelengths are almost 100% in the healing range. And what that means is we filter out all the convectional, traditional heat, and we're just giving almost 100% of the healing rays that get into your body that increase your core temperature and allow you to receive all these wonderful health benefits that we'll talk about in a little bit. So you're not getting it in the air. You don't have to be next to the heaters. You can be anywhere inside the Sunlighten sauna and receive the amazing benefits of far infrared and mid infrared if you're using the 3-in-1. Now, let's address near infrared, the vanity wavelength that I talked about earlier. This wavelength, you do need to be close. And we specifically designed our Sunlighten 3-in-1 sauna with the near infrared LEDs to be right next to you, so you could receive the benefits. Remember earlier I talked about how the wavelength goes deep into the skin if it's the 880 nanometer level. Well, in order to receive that, you need to be very, very close to the LEDs. And so it's not effective if you are sitting on the bench and you have, for example, near infrared or like a full spectrum type of heater in front of you because you're too far away from that wavelength. So because we know the value of near infrared and how powerful this beautiful wavelength is directly on the skin, we developed a wand called Lumi Near. Lumi for light, NIR, near for near infrared. And you can take the LEDs that we have in our Sunlighten 3-in-1 sauna with you now. It's a handheld, portable, wireless device that has 4 different heads depending on the result you're looking for. We have a head for acne, to clear the skin, muscle recovery, inflammation, anti-aging. It is all available in one wand, near infrared, on the go.
The myth that maybe sauna therapy has no impact on the heart, that traditional cardiologists certainly wouldn't list it as one of the forms of therapy they're going to recommend. When in fact, if we fast forward and were to visit hospitals in Tokyo and other regions in Japan, for decades, infrared therapy has been used as a frontline therapy for serious heart disease, something called congestive heart failure. Practitioners may know about. We talked about high blood pressure, advanced angina, advanced claudication, really bad vascular disease. These have come out of a series of several dozen human studies that followed several dozen animal studies about the impact of near-infrared therapy, far-infrared therapy on nitric oxide production, endothelial health, vascular repair, and they have led to amazing clinical results. So in Japan, they have a name for this. They call sauna therapy for heart patients WAON therapy, W-A-O-N, which is warming heat therapy. And the protocol is even in sick people, and I warn you, be careful with this, but the protocol is the sauna is up to full heat and full ability, and it's about 15 minutes of a treatment in these sicker, frailer patients, followed by about 30 minutes of resting and drinking water to rehydrate. And when one does that protocol 3-4 times a week in clinics in Japan, you can document walking ability, breathing ability, hormone measurements in the blood like BNP levels. Yeah, you can actually measure actual blood flow in the heart through various perfusion methods that cardiologists use. And even the ejection fraction, the measure of heart strength, which we use so core in cardiology, has been shown to improve. So it's powerful stuff. And I do recommend to my patients that they either get to a great sunlight and sauna full spectrum, which we happen to have in Detroit at a couple sauna centers I can refer them to, or get one in their own house. Use it carefully, using according to protocol. But I mean, if this were a pill, this would be recommended all the time. There's just no pharmaceutical representative walking in a cardiologist's office to tell them about sunlight and sauna, but it's the real deal. And I've seen the benefit over and over in my practice.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kahn. Let's talk about taking your smartphone inside the sauna. Is there going to be any issue with that? No. Infrared does not interfere with those types of devices. In fact, we just did a study with Sunlighten customers and found out that 42% of our customers take their smartphone in. Even though it doesn't affect your technology, my preference is to go in and unplug, unwind, and come out being completely refreshed and energized and ready to take on my day. Is there a difference between infrared saunas and traditional saunas? Yes. There's a difference in the technology and how the technology is delivered into the sauna and how the technology is delivered into the body. And then there's a difference in some of the impact of that wavelength with the body. So traditional saunas are delivered high levels of heat going into the air. The focus of hot air is to heat the air. You're sitting in there and you get hot because the air is hot, and you will sweat because the air is hot. Most people have had this experience. So you walk in, you're like, oh my goodness, this is really hot. Sometimes it's hard to breathe because it's so high heat. That's a traditional sauna, and you will sweat and you will get benefits, but you're getting it through the heat in the air. Infrared saunas operate at lower temperatures, and the heat focuses on the body. Okay, so this next myth is something I get all the time. How does all the infrared saunas, how do they differ? Isn't just infrared? And if I get an infrared sauna, I'm getting all the benefits. Doesn't matter where I get it from or the amount of infrared. So another way of saying it is all infrared is created equal. And that simply is not true. And I'm going to try and help make it as simple as possible, but also give some of the science behind it to understand why that's not true. So first of all, remember that infrared is divided into 3 different wavelengths. So that's really, really important, because really no longer can you say, an infrared sauna, because are you talking about far infrared, near infrared, or far, mid, and near infrared? It's really important because each wavelength penetrates the body at a different level, and that depth of penetration of the wavelength provides a different benefit. So let's talk about far infrared specifically and why far infrared is different at Sunlighten than other infrared companies. In 2005, there was a study done at UMKC, and it was a very robust study. It was placebo-controlled, randomized, and double-blind. Essentially what that means is we had two products. We used our Solo at the time, and then we developed another Solo that had generic infrared heaters. And we had it 6 weeks, 3 times a week. And at the end of the study, we found that people were using the Sunlighten sauna experienced many more benefits than the generic infrared sauna. And we know that is because of the quantity of infrared that Sunlighten delivers. We deliver almost 100%, specifically 99% of far infrared that's in the healing range into the body. Other infrared saunas deliver anywhere from 10 to maybe 80%. And so that additional, that say 20% to 90% is convectional heat that's interfering with the wavelength coming into the body. What happens when the wavelength comes into the body is it increases your core temperature, and that's where all of the magic happens. Because if you can consistently increase your core temperature, you can live a healthier life. Specific results that happen when you increase your core temperature are increase in circulation, increase in oxygenation to the tissues. It will help give you a healthier heart. And Dr. Joel Kahn will talk about all the studies that are related to that specifically. But in the UMKC study back in 2005, we found a statistical significant reduction in blood pressure with those using Sunlighten sauna, not those using the generic infrared sauna. So there is a specific connection between the amount of far infrared delivered into the body and the results and the benefits that you will receive. Dr. Kahn, anything else that you've heard that people ask you? I'd love to hear your perspective.
So many of my patients are asking for natural approaches to either avoid medical therapy or reduce or eliminate under careful observation. So that's certainly a big one. Muscle recovery, muscle aching, a lot of athletes in my practice, and that delayed onset muscle soreness, strategies to avoid it, and the actual published science that the Sunlighten approach to sauna offers for that. So a lot of athletes that I see are using sauna before and after, particularly after a strenuous event like a half marathon, a marathon, and beyond. And I think many, many athletes would agree to that. Weight loss, let me just finish with that one, because with the serious problem we're seeing all over the world, and certainly in the United States with obesity and all the consequences of obesity, from hyperglycemia, hyperlipidemia, vascular compromise, inflammation, and on and on. The ability to generate nearly as many, or actually as many calories in the sauna as you might generate with a bout of exercise. And not everybody's in shape to exercise aggressively. Some have orthopedic problems, neurologic problems, don't have access right now with a lot of lockdown to gyms and trainers. So I think the ability to enhance a really well founded diet. I do a lot of the fasting mimicking diet in my clinic, and I ask patients to use their infrared sauna from Sunlighten during their 5-day fasting mimicking diet. I love stacking multiple approaches to health and regeneration. So, again, I've been proudly recommending, and I do recommend to the Mindshare Summit group, the Sunlighten brand, because when you start diving into these various uses, you can't help but walk away and say, wow, that's really effective.
We did another study on core temperature, and this is really, really important. We wanted to find out, is it raising your core temperature? How much is it raising your core temperature? And we found that we can raise your core temperature up to 3 degrees in only 30 minutes. Now, all the studies right now on boosting the immune system and activating heat shock proteins are all connected to getting that consistent increase in core temperature and keeping it up as long as possible. We know that when you increase your core temperature, it activates those heat shock proteins, it changes your body, and it helps to fight those cells that may cause viruses and colds and flus. So it's really important to keep your body safe and healthy to increase your core temperature. And one of the greatest, safest, natural ways to do that is by sitting inside your sunlight and infrared sauna 30 to 40 minutes every day. People tell us, especially brand new sunlighting customers, that wonder how much they should sweat, what happens if they don't sweat, are they not getting any benefits if they're not sweating right when they walk in. So here's reality. It took me 5 times when I was starting to use my sunlight and sauna before I really started to sweat. And here's a couple of potential reasons why that we've learned. Number 1 is hydration. If you're not appropriately hydrated, you're not going to sweat as much. Number 2, this wavelength, far infrared specifically, is, especially in the quantity that sunlight delivers it, is foreign to most people. They're not used to being inside a 99% far infrared sauna. So the body is not used to receiving it, so it takes it longer to get used to it before it adapts. When it adapts and when it receives it, then it's like a water faucet, right? It tips off and you start to sweat a ton. So my advice is, if you're not sweating, stay with it, don't give up. You eventually will. And a lot of times people who don't sweat right away also are people that have toxins in the body or have something going on where they have a heavy load of toxins. And so it is going to take them longer. And so you really need to stay with it. But you will notice a difference in how your skin feels, and you should notice some moisture on the top of your skin. And when you notice that, you're getting really close. And so stay with it. If you've done it for 30 minutes, stay in that extra 10 minutes to start having you sweat.
I got very deep into reading the science, the literature of detoxification, particularly heavy metal detoxification, because of the impact of excess heavy metals on the cardiovascular system. And there were some really interesting research studies, for example, that sweating through exercise, taking the sweat and analyzing it for the degree of heavy metals that were being excreted through the skin, compared to the same assessment after the full spectrum infrared sauna like we get with sunlight. There's a dramatically increased amount of excretion of heavy metals from the sweat of infrared sauna. It's that deep penetration into the cells and into actually the mitochondria. So that's certainly for those of us in the Mindshare family that focus on detoxification, and there's many different strategies from food to supplements and cleanses, but infrared sauna is definitely one there.
If you're curious or wonder, am I getting any benefit? You absolutely are. The wavelengths are getting into your body. You are getting a benefit. We've studied the sweat analysis. You will notice a difference. Just stay with it.
That's right, Connie. You stay with it. But certainly when I researched recommending various brands to my patients in my cardiology clinic where I am right now, what really struck me about Sunlighten was a few different things. One was there's over 50 clinical research studies with the Sunlighten sauna that are in the peer-reviewed literature. And they're found, I'm pretty sure, on the sunlighten.com website that anybody can review. And it's just great to be able to recommend a therapy and a device that has the science behind it. Patients appreciate that. Number 2, the unique patents that, for example, in the Impulse Sunlighten I have at home, that it's near, mid, and far range infrared all through one therapy is a great way to obtain all the benefits. And each wavelength has different benefits, but it's unique to the Sunlighten sauna. And finally, if I can recall this, they have data, and I haven't seen it with other brands, that you can actually raise your inner core temperature while you're using the sauna by as much as 3 degrees. And if your purpose is using the sauna for detoxification, for eliminating heavy metals, plastics, and all the wonderful joys of living in the current era, that rise in core temperature for that specific goal is documented with the Sunlighten sauna up to actually over 100 degrees core temperature, which I don't think I've seen with any other device. So it's, again, science that leads me back to the recommendation. Infrared sauna, full spectrum, and sunlighten.com. That's what my patients are being told.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kahn. So the next question we get a lot is, what about kids? Are infrared saunas good for children? And the answer is absolutely. Good rule of thumb that I have used myself for my 2 boys is 1 minute per age. So if they're 10 years old, 10 minutes. Most importantly, listen to your kids. And if they say that they're done, then they're done.
Yeah, Connie, I have the same recommendation for children in terms of the time that they can spend in an infrared sauna. But I just want to point out, I'm not sure you mentioned it, once they hit puberty, once they're pretty much in their adult phase, whether they be 13, 14, 15, I let them participate in sauna therapy as much as their parents or their relatives. So I don't put any limit on it once they're past that important milestone.
Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you very much to Dr. Joel Kahn for his expert opinion.
Well, thank you very much, Connie. Thank you to the Mindshare family. Thank you, JJ. It was great to share some of the science, some of the innovation, some of the cardiovascular benefits, some of the business aspects of having a great therapy backed by over 50 research studies that you can, confidently recommend to your people. And I can just say it's been one of the best therapies that I've been able to incorporate in my own life, in my own biohacking, but also in that is being pursued by my patients. So thanks a lot.
And now we'd like to share our products with you, and I'll meet you in the showroom. And don't forget, we have a special offer coming up. Thank you so much for joining us in the showroom. First, we are going to talk about the Solo system. The Sunlighten Solo is the sauna I referenced that was used in the UMKC study that showed the significant reduction in blood pressure as well as other health benefits like detoxification and quality of life. This sauna is one of the only portable infrared saunas on the market. In fact, it is the only one that has 99% far infrared. It's telescopic, so it collapses into about 2 feet by 3 feet. It has a pad that has 4 Sunlighten infrared heaters in it, and then the Solo domes itself has 5. So together you're completely immersed in Sunlighten's heat. I have to mention my favorite feature, which is the foot heater, because it feels amazing when you get in to have that sunlight heat at your feet and then underneath you and completely surrounding you. Also, you get chromotherapy, light therapy included, and you have a control panel where you can adjust each dome separately. So you can use the pad, for example, on the floor, or you can do yoga on it, and you can enjoy the benefits of your Solo pad separately. This is our Sunlighten signature. Comes standard with chromotherapy. Chromotherapy is another word for light therapy. This is colored lights that do affect the chakras and can provide some benefits based on the color. The Sunlighten signature has 99% of our patented far infrared heat. So you are really getting the most amount of far infrared on the market. This wood is cedar. We have 3 different woods. We have cedar, basswood, and eucalyptus. We're also into sustainability, so that's something that's really important to share as well. This is our Sunlighten Amplify. You would want this if you really like that feeling of intense heat when you walk in. We added Amplify to amplify the experience by having a couple of full spectrum heaters in front of you. And it is a blend of the 3 different wavelengths, so you will get far, mid, and near as a blend. This one is in basswood. The benefit of basswood is it's hypoallergenic, and we actually found this wood from beekeepers because it's used to harness the hives, and it keeps all of the oils and all the honey pure. And so, same for you. If you are very sensitive to fragrance or oils or anything like that, the basswood is a perfect choice. This is the Sunlighten Impulse 3-in-1 infrared sauna. What makes this product so unique and special is that you will receive the maximum quantity at the precise frequency in each different wavelength. You'll get near-infrared LEDs, you will get a high intense amount of mid-infrared, and then you get the Sunlighten signature core far infrared agitators. Additionally, in Impulse, you will get the Android control panel. This sauna has 6 different programs. So you get cardio, relaxation, detox, anti-aging, weight loss, and pain relief. This has 2 different benches. This has French doors. And we also have chromotherapy option and acoustic resonance therapy option to enhance your experience. So we're so excited to give you this special offer for Mindshare, and that is whenever you purchase a Sunlighten wooden cabin, so the Signature, Amplify, or Impulse, you will receive free our special gift, which is our Lumineer. And I talked a little bit about it on the webinar, but this is the first completely wireless handheld portable device that essentially takes our near-infrared that's in our product with you. So you can take it on the go. Lumi stands for light, Sunlighten's specialty, and then NIR stands for near-infrared. You will love this, and you will get this free as a gift whenever you get one of the Sunlighten cabins. I am Connie Zach, co-owner of Sunlighten, as well as Sunlight Day Spa. A lot of people don't know that we started a day spa 12 years ago. So excited to be talking to all the attendees at Mindshare. I really miss our Mindshare family and wish I could be there. I know how important it is, and one of the greatest things about this event is how people really just peel back the onion. They're vulnerable, they share their failures, they share their successes, so that we can all, raise up and elevate and be more successful together, and that's my goal here. So as a Mindshare attendee, what is very unique about Sunlighten's business model, about how we come to market, as well as how we can help you with your revenue stream, is that we first are the manufacturer. So we do all the research and development, we manufacture the product, we build it ourselves. So we own that entire process from the beginning to the end.
My name is Sam Gagan. I am a sales manager here at Sunlighten, have been for 6 years. I operate the business to business side and also the direct consumer sales. So as a business owner, it is so powerful to have this sauna in your business and make your money back really quickly. So just to kind of paint the picture, imagine, having sessions, 5 or 6 sessions a day, $1 a minute. After, several weeks, several months, you're making your money back, and then it's paying for itself. And then your customers are coming back. They're telling their friends, they're bringing in referrals. And once again, they're building a lifestyle to really help grow your business, but it's making you feel good because it's not an overhead cost that's coming out of your pocket.
My business is the world of recovery. I own Recover NYC. I had done some research and I understood what the competitors had to offer. So when it was time to select saunas, it wasn't, are we getting a sauna? It's when are we getting the Sunlighten sauna?
It is just awesome that I can look my clients in the eye and let them know that we have the most advanced infrared sauna heat therapy in the marketplace.
Adding Sunlighten to my business has been beneficial because they make me a lot of money. Well, they make the facility a lot of money. It's one of our most popular items, if not the most popular.
I started seeing ROI with Pure Sweat Float Studio immediately.
So the pandemic, it's been really interesting. So 2 ways it's affected our business on a positive level that I want to share for the attendees. One is on the consumer level. So people really want to have something that's going to help increase their immunity and help protect them against colds, viruses, anything that comes their way.
The best part about it, especially during these crazy times, is it's all hands off and really easy to make your money back in just a short period of time.
We have a wide array of commercial facilities that have invested in having a Sunlighten product for different reasons at their business. So we have corporations who have invested, like Community America, have purchased 2 of our Impulse 3-in-1 product for their wellness facility. And the number one reason was to keep their associates healthier. We also have sports facilities that have invested in Sunlighten's products.
We've done a lot of research, a lot of clinical testing on our heaters, on the safety, to give our consumers a peace of mind, because it is a wellness product. And at the end of the day, safety is something that should be a top priority in any company in the wellness field.
And then there's also the 20 years of doing business, and Sunlighten as a global company. We have all of this experience direct to consumer, as well as other commercial locations around the world that have told us, this is how I market my Sunlighten service, this is the money that I have made, these are the types of treatments, this is the packaging, this is what I have done.
Having a Sunlighten in your business is awesome because it's such an easy way to get a really quick ROI and really pay for it within the first few months of purchase. We're in so many different health and wellness businesses, and those business owners typically will pair the sauna session with a package they already have, or book appointments and charge by the minute. So it's an easy way to make a lot of money quickly, and it also keeps your customers feeling really good, really healthy, boosting their immune system, and essentially retaining them coming back for so much more.
What I want to do today is to help our Mindshare family with sharing the knowledge and the experience and the wealth of successes as well as failures that we have had over the past 20 years as a business and 12 years as a business owner of a local brick and mortar facility. So I'm excited to share. Feel free and ask me any question you want. I'm here at your service.